first, I will ask you some questions. So can you present yourself and present what you do in your company also, and how you found it, and what you propose also?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Kit Pang. I am a public speaking coach at Harvard Business School, and I also have my own company called Boston Speaks. I would say the best way to describe what I do as a public speaking coach is two things. I help people not pee their pants when they speak in public, and the other side is to help them go from boring to engaging when it comes to speaking. So those two things.
Okay, right. And so why public speaking? How do you tell you, okay, I will create a company in public speaking?
Yeah. So when it comes to, actually, can I ask you a few questions too? How did you get into what you're doing now?
Yeah, so for me, it was at the same time I'm passionate about lyrical singing, about opera. And also I like to share with people also my passions, and to help people also to express themselves and to be aligned with their true personality also. I think it's important.
Wow, that's great. Yeah.
And to share ideas, to inspire also, all those things, I think.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, many people take it from different sides. I used to be scared of public speaking, but I did a public speaking competition, and that's when I felt alive. So I wanted that moment more, and I want to help others get that moment as well. Of course, improve their public speaking. So that's how I basically got into it. It was because I started to like public speaking. I want other people to start loving public speaking as well.
And so how did you do that? What did you organize to have those people?
Yeah, so my path into becoming a public speaking coach, I used to be a performer as well. So I used to be a dancer. I used to be a hip hop dancer. I used to be a street performer. So I had no background in public speaking. But when I saw people speak, I was also thinking, how did they get booked and paid to speak? I wanted to do something like that. And so if there were empty rooms, like places where I can hold a workshop, I would find empty rooms, and I would go on Eventbrite or Meetup or publish like an online calendar that I'm teaching presentation skills, whatever the title of the workshop is. So I would put a workshop on, get people into the empty room, and I would do a bunch of those workshops. So the first year, maybe like 2 or 3 a week. I would just keep on doing them. So that's basically how I got into it.
Okay, great. And so what kind of people do you have in coaching?
So the people, when I first started, it's been all over the place. Entrepreneurs, business professionals, people who just want to feel more confident finding their voice, CEOs, executives. But now I just focus on business people who work in organizations, less entrepreneurs, so more people in organizations that want to grow in their careers or want to develop their public speaking skills for their advantage for the professional growth.
Okay, great. And
Yeah.
for you, so what are the, if there was like 3 things that were absolutely essential in public speaking, what will it be? Like
The 3 things that are essential.
Yeah.
If people want to improve their public speaking, the 3 things that are essential are not being afraid to be themselves in any situation, no matter who they're talking to. No matter who they're talking to, can they still be themselves? Second, do they have the ability to listen? Do they know how to listen? Because they can have the best ideas, but if they don't know how to listen to other individuals, then they're just talking to themselves and not to the audience. And the third thing is knowing how to plan. Taking time to plan your presentation or communication skills beforehand. So being yourself, able to listen, planning.
That's great. And according to you, what will be the difference between talking to yourself when you do a public speaking intervention, or really connect with your public? What will be the difference between the two?
So when it comes to speaking, I'm not sure if you felt this before, but maybe people felt it playing sports. They get into the zone. When they get into the zone, time slows down. They're having fun. This could be for writing for you. It could be whatever for you. But when people get into the zone, they feel like they can be themselves, but at the same time, they're there with the audience. So here's what I mean. I was speaking to another public speaking coach, and she was doing a performance and she was acting, and her belt came off. And so her clothes was about to fall. So she, gripped her clothes so it didn't fall.
Okay.
But at that point, it clicked with her and she felt more alive because in that moment, something made her think, I can just adapt to this with the environment and my audience right now. And she knew how to be in the moment and still make it work while she had things prepared. Okay. So I'm going to say that's one of the keys to speaking. You can have things prepared, but if you are just talking about the things that you have prepared, like a robot, and not being in the moment, then you're losing half of it.
Yeah, so the connection with the public and the fact of preparing also is very important.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say are the three essential things?
For me, I think, well, I think there's two main things. I think it's to be aligned with yourself first, like
Mhm.
to have the positioning of a body, which is right, the voice, the non-verbal and paraverbal also. The also to look to people, I think is very important. I think the preparation also is very important because it reassure you, and then you can be really with your public, like you said, in the present with him. And so from this alignment, I think you can then send energy to your public and connect with your public and send them positive energy and all those things. So I think that first there is the speaker, and after the connection with your public and the fact to create also a link with them also with the public.
Yeah, I think that's great. I agree with you. Eye contact, the connection piece, everything.
So yeah, I think for me that's when I discovered public speaking. Well, it was a few years ago. The one thing that really changed everything was the eyes, like to look to the people really, and to really connect with them with when I watch them. Yeah.
The eye contact. It's hard for people sometimes.
Yeah, it's very hard. Sometimes it's very hard. Uh, so nowadays, I have like CEOs, managers, and a lot of people in coaching, and sometimes it's very very hard for them to keep the eye contact because it's also the fear of a judgment of a person's. It's also that they fear the judgment of people also.
Yeah. There's so much into it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, for you, what was the key point? I will say, how did you succeed to go out your how to say, yeah, to be less shy? How did you succeed to become a a public speaking coach while you were shy at the beginning?
I think the more that you do it, the better you just become. But I don't have imposter syndrome. So, when people feel like they're not as credible or they're not as professional and they think they're not good enough,
Mm.
um, I'm one of those people. I'm like my cat. my cat is kind of uh, she just dives in head first, and she's kind of dumb sometimes. She's not a perfectionist, and that's how I am too. I just dive in. I don't wait for the perfect moment to do everything. So I go head first, and then I think of the consequences later. That's how I am as an individual. So I think just because of the way I'm doing that, helped me
Mm.
get out there. Of course, some people who are perfectionists, they will wait till they have everything perfect. Of course, that's why they're so good, but that's why it might take them a little bit longer to get over that as well. You know, different personalities.
Yeah, and I think when you sometimes also to learn, you have to do mistakes also. It's not well because I have a lot of people who are shy and we say, okay, when I will have confidence in me, I will do that, I will do that. But as they don't practice, they cannot learn also. So
Yeah, definitely. Just go and practice. And it's like basketball. Just play more and practice more.
yes, of course. And so I saw that you did also some connections with other public speaking coach and to share also knowledge. Can you tell us more about that also?
Yeah, so the reason I wanted to get public speaking coaches together, it was because you know all the coronavirus stuff that's happening.
Mm.
So how is that affecting other public speaking coaches' businesses? And so at that time, of course, there are many people who did not plan anything yet. There are some people who are adapting. There are some people that are getting more clients. Some of them have no clients at all. And
Yeah.
so people were all over the place with how they were. And everyone is of course adapting to teaching virtual communication and virtual public speaking. And so everyone is it's in a different place. And so no one basically had all the answers. They just knew how they think they might do it. So it was good to hear from everyone's perspective. But again, it was one of those things where everyone is trying to figure it out at the same time.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, we cannot really plan what will be the consequences on our activity, unfortunately. But
yeah.
what will you advise, for example, to a public speaking coach like me? what what should we advise for the business?
What are some of your biggest challenges right now?
For me, for example,
Yeah.
um, for me, I don't have many challenges. I have challenges, but not the corona didn't really impact me, so it was quite
Oh,
the
good. Well,
same.
everything's good then,
Yeah.
right?
At the beginning, I was a little bit afraid. I was like, "Oh, how is it going to be?" But actually, I didn't really see some impact on turnover and all those things. So I was quite lucky. But imagine a coach who hasn't many clients. How can he develop, for example?
Yeah. Well, one thing I would say, you made me think about this. One thing I would say as advice to public speaking coaches, for your audience as a public speaking coach, find one main type of audience to work with and forget the rest. So if you just want to work with entrepreneurs, just work with entrepreneurs. Don't work with entrepreneurs, business professionals, startup people, doctors, everyone else. Pick a main group to work with, even though you might be sacrificing some other people.
Mm.
That's going to be the growth of the business.
Do you think that because as a coach, I noticed that very often we track people with quite the same personality. For me, it really happened. Like I'm hypersensitive. What do we say? I don't know. And I only coach people who are also hypersensitive. So, and I talked to other coaches, coach,
Yeah.
and it was the same for them also. They mainly attract kind of the kind of personality who is very near from their own personality. So that's quite a funny fact, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good thing that you bring that up. But I would say it's still your choice to see if you want to work with those people or people that might be different.
Mm.
Still the same thing with picking your audience, just like a fitness coach, okay? As a fitness coach, you might want people who, when they're doing fitness, they want to be pushed.
Mm.
Or you might be a fitness coach that might want to work with people who might not want to be pushed as hard as the other ones that'll say go go go. Maybe there's, you know, as a right type of people of how they want to work. That's also picking your ideal target audience, because you know if you're picking people that you love to work with, at the end of the day, those should be 90% of the people that are your clients, and then just forget the rest.
Okay. Okay, good one. Okay.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, what are your big project for the future? What do you want to accomplish?
For me personally, I'm trying to cut down on the things I'm trying to do. I think I have too many ideas and I want to do too many of them. So it's I just cut personally is to do less as possible and just focus on one or two things. With the public speaking side of things, it's really finding a good way to help people with the fear of public speaking. I have things that do work, but there's no switch that can say, hey, you're not afraid of public speaking anymore. But to fine tune that a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you working on?
Sorry?
What are you working on?
For me, what my biggest dream. So I think like you, like it's very easy, especially when you are an entrepreneur, to have a lot of different ideas. And so I don't know if you know the Walt Disney model in coaching. So it's a model like for entrepreneurs is very interesting because you have three different kind of characters. Like you have a critics, the one who say, okay, this idea, what are the main critics I can do on this idea? You have a realistic person, like, do I have a budget? Do I have a time? All those things to accomplish this idea. And you have the idealistic person, like the idealistic character will say, okay, it's very great to have this idea, I want to accomplish everything. And so for me, I tend to be idealistic, like to have a lot of ideas, to want to do everything. And so for the moment, I would like to develop a e-learning, some courses online. And in the future, I would really like to create my own kind of like competitor of a TEDx. I would like to create a new kind of conferences, also to launch it first in France and hopefully internationally. I would like, yeah.
Oh wow, that's great to hear. Yeah.
Because I would like to create something which is more focused on also emotions, on authenticity also, and to share ideas with, to show also that it's not always like in good moments that we have our lessons, that sometimes bad moments, through bad moments we can also learn a lot of things, and the leaders are not it's not like a plane, it's like mountains where you have up and downs, and yeah.
Wow. That's I can see you have many ideas. That's great.
Yeah, I love public speaking, so
That's good to hear. Wow.
and also to mix, I think like lyrical singing, to do like musical talks also with someone who play and someone who talks, things like that. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Well, that's cool. That's great. That's great. Any more questions? Let me know if I can answer anything more.
maybe just your final words you want to share?
My final words for people who want to get better at public speaking is actually don't read too many books or watch too many videos. Just go find opportunities and do more.
Yeah, to practice again and
Yeah.
again. Yeah. Okay, right. Good. Thank you so for this interview.
Oh
Thank you a
yeah.
lot.
Of course. Anytime.